Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your tropical update for June 3rd. We have potential Tropical Cyclone One, which we're watching between Cuba-ish area and Florida, as well as Invest 92L, which is the system we were watching a few days ago. We stopped watching it. The Hurricane Center stopped watching it, and now we're watching it again because now it's an Invest. One thing I want to note here on this zoomed out version is that you see there's virtually no precipitation over the western half, western two-thirds really, of the Gulf of Mexico. And that's because there's a lot of dry air there, and that's really impacting potential Tropical Cyclone One. So let's begin there with PTC1. The center of rotation is very broad and kind of oval-shaped, basically from the tip of that Mexican coast over maybe to where that convection is, but not really, like that convection right off the coast of Cuba. So it's very broad, and therefore we don't have a tropical storm yet. Nonetheless, tropical storm force winds associated with potential Tropical Cyclone One, well away from the center though. The first time we get tropical storm force winds is over 150 miles away from the center of this storm. Tropical storm warnings as a result are in effect for western Cuba, South Florida, the northwestern Bahamas. That includes the Florida Keys, and we'll also have a tropical storm watch for west central Cuba, as well as the Isle of Youth, where we could see tropical storm force winds, but really it's just a minor chance. 90% chance formation within the next 5 days. Also, in about 3.5 days from now, we could see some impacts to Bermuda. We're still looking at landfall sometime around Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning maybe in Florida. As things stand right now, we're looking at a total of 6 to 10 inches, isolated 14 of rain for western Cuba. South and central Florida can see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches, isolated at 12, and that rain has already started. So it's not an additional 12 inches of rain, but that's what we could be seeing grand total. Storm surge 1 to 2 feet, up to 3 feet in areas. The northwestern Bahamas, same deal, a little bit less rain than South Florida. Let's take a look at the probabilities of tropical storm force winds. As we see here, about a 50% chance of tropical storm force winds somewhere between Fort Myers and the Everglades National Park area. So that includes Naples and Marco Island, beginning as early as Saturday morning is when we could see these tropical storm force winds there. Taking a look at the storm surge map, we do see it's expanded a little bit, but more or less the same as yesterday. Now we just have a little bit on the Atlantic side between Card Sound Bridge and North Miami Beach has a chance of storm surge. That's the only change since yesterday with that map. Here's a look at the predicted rainfall due to potential Tropical Cyclone One from the Weather Prediction Center. The good news, like I said, is some of this rain has already fallen. There were times earlier where grand totals expected by the Weather Prediction Center were in excess of 10 inches. There were red contours on the Gulf side of Florida, and I wouldn't be surprised if that were the final total for those areas due to there already being flood advisories in place, although the storm's still over 300 miles away. On your right-hand side, there is the aircraft reconnaissance data. As you can see, that very broad and elongated center with center points everywhere, all over the place. You got 4 different points there, and none of them very tight at all. As you see, those light blue and white wind barbs, meaning that the winds are very, very weak in those areas, and so simply not anything too crazy. Taking a look at the intensity forecast, some guidance, such as the H-WRF, which tends to blow up storms, has a stronger tropical storm by the time it makes landfall, or I guess after it makes landfall, it has it strengthening over Florida, making its way towards Bermuda. That's probably not going to happen. Something sort of that black line, the official forecast from the Hurricane Center, seems more reasonable. There's take a look at the spaghetti models as well. Some of those blue models, that's the UK Met model, brings it close to Bermuda, and that could be concerning if that does actually pan out. Again, tropical storm warnings remain in effect with potential Tropical Cyclone One. It doesn't have a name yet. If it gets named, its name will be Alex. It could get named at any time now, but that center really needs to be consolidated. With a more consolidated center, we have Invest 92L. However, the problem with this one is it's lacking convection. I mean, the convection, just compare that. I'll go back real quick. There's potential Tropical Cyclone One. You have those blacks and whites there. And over here, you hardly even have orange at the center of the storm there. So the problem with 92L is it doesn't have convection. The good news is it has a compact center. Also, the bad news is it's near Bermuda. Bermuda could get a 1-2 punch with these storms. Probably not going to form, 10% chance of formation. Nonetheless, the Hurricane Center taking a more in-depth look at this one. I'm not really expecting anything too crazy from this, but it's just a possibility that's on the table if things were to happen. That's all for today's update. I've been Chris Dixon, InfoWeather, Catholic Media.